like to surf Jaws for you? Is it frightening, exciting? Is it just mundane for you now?
Oh, it's far from mundane. It's exciting for sure. It's definitely it's by far my favorite big wave in the world, and I think it's probably my favorite wave in the world. It's just incredibly scary and exhilarating and super challenging, and at the same time, the quality of the wave is like nothing else. I don't know any other wave that's like that.
How is big wave surfing different from regular surfing? You know, like talk about the longer boards and the safety measures. You know, it's kind of a production, right?
It is, for sure. If you do it right, it's a little bit more of a production, especially when you're talking really big waves. You know, like I have, like over on Maui, I have a full setup of like 5 surfboards that are all exactly the same size, that are all identical. I have all my safety gear. We have a team of guys who look out for us in the water. I have a flotation inflatable suit. I have all this stuff in order to try and make surfing giant waves as safe as I possibly can, and still be able to enjoy, you know, just go out there and surf and have fun, but I want to come home. I got a family at home, and I want to not be irresponsible and want to do as much as I can to make sure that I come home to them. So it is a bit of a production, but if you do it right, you get to do both. You get to go have fun, surf really huge waves, and stay safe. When the waves are bigger, you really have to look out for each other very closely. You know, whenever anyone catches a wave, we're all paying attention to what's happening on that guy's wave. And if somebody has a bad wipeout, everybody kind of chips in and tries to help, just to help that guy until that guy's safe, you know, safely either on a safety jet ski or back out in a safe spot. So we've lost quite a few people in the past surfing big waves, and we definitely have a great camaraderie, and I have a really good connection with a lot of the big wave riders now. Everybody's really cool, and everybody kind of does it for the same reasons, and it's definitely a unique bond that you have with people that you're out in treacherous conditions with.
What do you have to do to train for big wave surfing?
It's mainly like survival-based training. So it's not like surfing specific to where I'm trying to train muscles that I use for surfing. It's more cardiovascular training, trying to be literally as fit as possible to be able to train my lung capacity and make sure, you know, that I can operate with a super high heart rate at you know, for a long amount of time. I have a lot of endurance, a lot of stamina, and be able to hold my breath for a long time. So I do a lot of like, you know, running, swimming. I do CrossFit. I do a whole variety of training. But yeah, I kind of do anything I can. But as long as it's fun and challenging, I'll do it. But with the mentality that I'm trying to train to survive serious situations. That's my take on it.
What do you think of the girls that are out surfing big waves now? I mean, there were 2 girls out at Jaws, I know, on Tuesday, Kiala and Paige. Is that any different from the guys being out?
It is different. It's the only reason it's different is because there's, you know, 40 guys and 2 girls, and but it's so cool that they're out there and they're very talented. They have a tremendous amount of ability, and they charge. Those girls charge, and they're smart about it. They're not out there just to be out there. They're stoked to be out there, and they surf really well. I saw both Kiala and Paige get some really impressive rides, and they're very calculated, and they know what they're doing, and it's great to see them in the lineup.
Were there any rides that stood out to you over the last couple of days? Any surfers?
Yeah, there's a young guy named Albie Layer from Maui who is, I'd say, he's probably one of the very best guys out of Jaws, and he's just very consistent out there. His performances have been super inspiring. I love surfing with him, and just charges, and he's really young, up and coming guy, and he's definitely one of the guys that I look to push myself. So he's really great.
How does this past swell compare to what, everyone starts calling an extra large, super big Peʻahi day?
Well, it's all relative because an extra large big Peʻahi day is different for there's two different kinds of big days at Peʻahi. There's really big days for paddling, which I would say that the last 2 days had really big waves for paddling. Overall, it wasn't consistently huge, but there was huge waves ridden the last couple days, and then there's huge Peʻahi days for tow surfing that are just kind of like the next level, that are really difficult to paddle. And we haven't really seen a clean extra large, really big day out there since we really started paddling it. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when that really big day comes, and I think we'll probably see it soon. But yeah, I mean, it was a great last couple of days. There was some massive waves ridden. A guy named Twiggy, he's a South African guy, Grant Twiggy Baker.
Yeah,
he caught a wave the day before yesterday that was probably one of the bigger waves ever paddled at Jaws. So there's a handful of waves that were in that XXL category.
What's daily life like as a surfer?
Well, I'm just about to go into my CrossFit class right now to train again, and just drop my kids off at school, and I'm just an ordinary dad when it comes down to my days when I'm not chasing big waves. I have a very unusual job, but I do have a very normal life when I'm not chasing big waves.
Cool. And do you have any other surf spots on Maui that you like to surf?
Yeah, I love Honolulu Bay. It's probably one of the best waves on Earth, but yeah, I very rarely get a chance to surf it because whenever it's really good, I'm out of Jaws.
It's official. You're again an invitee for the Quicksilver in memory of Eddie Aikau. So how many years have you been invited, and how many of those have you actually surfed? What does it mean to you?
I got invited when I was 20 years old, and I remember it like it was yesterday because it was such a big deal for me to get invited to the Eddie. It was such a dream of mine. I started really getting into big waves like when I was a junior and senior in high school, and so basically right when I graduated high school, I got invited right after that, and so I've been invited since then, and I've surfed. I don't know how many there's been since then, but that was like in '93, I think I started getting invited. It's been a very long time, but you know, on average, they only have the Eddie maybe every 4 or 5 years. So, so I've surfed in a lot of them, but yeah, it's no different than it was then. It's like it's such an honor to be invited, and such a good group of people that put it on, and a great list of surfers that are invited. I think that like my sessions at Jaws over the last couple of days are basically like a warm up. I haven't surfed big waves since last March, and so I basically was just trying to get back in the swing of things. How you see how it feels to put yourself in heavy situations again, and just sort of get those butterflies out of the way. But I definitely don't think of the Eddie as a contest at all. I just am stoked to be a part of the day, and I want to go out there and catch some big waves with my buddies. Kind of no different than a normal big wave session.